The morning of my second wedding anniversary started not the way I wanted it to. I'm pregnant. James?
I'm filing for divorce.
Do you really want your husband to spend the night with another woman?
Your job is to keep Jane.
After the heated argument with James, Emily experiences terrible stomach cramps and is rushed into a hospital.
What's going on? Hospital?
Emily sat nervously as Dr. Wright and a nurse checked her vitals and performed a scan on her stomach.
Look at this, you two. Your kiddo's a champ, healthy and kicking.
What? We're pregnant?
James and Emily exchanged silent glances. Even if they stood as husband and wife, Emily couldn't help but wonder, would a child save their marriage?
Perhaps it's not the end, but a beginning.
Are you all right? James rushed over to Emily. I don't know, answered Emily, wincing, but it hurts too much to stand up. Her stomach had started to cramp, and the pain was unbearable. James helped Emily up. Let's get you to the hospital, he said gingerly. Come on. Even though Emily's emotions were fraught, she couldn't fight James this time. She allowed him to offer her his arm, leaning against him as he guided her to the couch. I'm going to call for an Uber. Just hold on, okay? James said, concern etched across his face. Emily nodded as she grimaced and tried to focus on breathing instead. Emily breathed in and out as pain continued to sear across her stomach. Hold on, little one, she said to herself. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. James walked into the kitchen. He came back to the living room with a half-empty water bottle. An alert on James' phone went off. A car's coming in a few minutes, James said. Are you okay? Emily nodded. James sat next to her and rubbed her back. That small gesture of comfort made Emily want to cry. Stop, Emily said, with her eyes still closed. Sorry, James answered quietly. They sat next to each other in silence until another alert let them know that their car was there. They got into the car and made their way to the hospital. Emily tried her best to keep calm, even though the closer they got to the hospital, the more she feared the worst-case scenario. I'm scared, Emily admitted quietly to James as he helped her out of the car. It's going to be okay, James said as he helped her inside. I promise. James quickly motioned for an attendant to grab them a wheelchair. Emily sat in the chair as James called someone on his phone. Hey, Dr. Wright, it's James, James said on the phone. We're here. We'll let the front desk know. All right, see you soon. Who is that? Emily asked. Dr. Wright, a family friend. He's the chief of obstetrics and gynecology here. He'll be here soon to help us out. James spoke with the front desk, and soon they were ushered to another floor. It was much quieter here. They were escorted to a large, pristine room with all the standard equipment of an OB/GYN, but also equipped with couches and a coffee table. Emily shook her head at the extravagance. James always made sure he had the best amenities there were, even while in crisis mode. How are you feeling? James asked, helping her out of the wheelchair and onto the couch. I don't know, Emily answered as she sank into the couches. Exhausted? She shivered at the hospital's temperature. James grabbed a folded blanket on the examination table and wrapped it around Emily. Rest until he gets here, James suggested. Emily nodded. Despite the physical pain still clawing at her insides, she closed her eyes and miraculously drifted off to sleep. Her dreams were fragmented and littered with crying babies and Anna's leering face. Emily was wandering around hospital rooms, only to find empty spaces. She had no idea what she was looking for, but every room was open. James stood at the end of the corridor and called out to her. Emily, Emily, James called out. Emily soon woke up to James gently shaking her shoulder. She was confused before she remembered where she was, and everything that had happened in the last 24 hours. Emily, I'm Dr. Wright, an older gentleman smiled at her. James called and said you were experiencing some pain. How far along are you in the pregnancy? Emily nodded. I'm sorry, I fell asleep. Yes, I'm 4.5 months pregnant. Dr. Wright nodded. I see. Well, first off, congratulations. and why don't you come over here and we'll do a scan and make sure everything is all right." James helped Emily to her feet and onto the examination table. Emily sat nervously as Dr. Wright and an assistant nurse looked over her vitals, poked and prodded, and brought out an ultrasound machine to scan her stomach. Emily let James hold her hand through the process. She didn't know if it was for her or for him, or maybe in this case, they both chose to lean on each other.
Hi, I am Emily. I hope you are enjoying the show Sweet Little Lies. If you are wondering what happens next, click on the link in the description to listen to the full audio series. You can also watch the next episode here in the playlist.